Oh, hey Brandon, what's up? Are you making a game? What? What's it? What? Oh, hi. Welcome to Game News. You're in Season 3. I was in jail between Seasons 1 and 2 because there was such a long gap of time, and apparently you go to jail for that. But now it's Season 3, and it hasn't been so long, so I'm on parole, which is cool. This way, you guys see more episodes of Game News in a single year, so thank me. You're welcome. Now, in the past, we've covered driving simulations such as Bus Driver and 18 Wheels of Steel Convoy, and we even covered an online multiplayer game called Wizard 101. Now, we are moving on. We are switching things up a little, and we are showing you something that is not just a game, not even a game. It is a full program that allows you to create games. Well, almost full. The version we're going to show you is the light version. There is a pro version. You have to pay money. But we're going to show you how to download the light version of Game Maker, and we're going to show you how to make a simple game, and we're going to show you how to have a good time doing it. So, follow me! Okay, so let's get started. So, this is YoYoGames.com. Now I should start by introducing you to a new feature on Game News. This is called the magnifier. Right now, cursor up here on Yo-Yo Games, and if you look down at the bottom right corner, I can control this little screen that magnifies it for your viewing pleasure. Now you'd think this might be government technology, but it actually comes with Windows. Anyway, let's keep going. So, if you wanted to get Game Maker 7 Lite, we're going to show you how to do that right now. Basically, you go to YoYoGames.com. Thank you, Yo-Yo, for allowing us to do this. You click Make, and then you go to Game Maker 7 right here. Download it and start building your own great games in no time. Click Game Maker 7, and then it's as easy as this. Get the free download, and then just start going. And the great thing about Game Maker is that it has a huge community of other people on the internet at YoYoGames.com who you can share your work with, and who will share their work with you. We're not going to get into that in this episode, because honestly, you should go experience it for yourselves. But we're going to show you how to make a simple game. So let's assume you've already downloaded the game, and keep going. Here on the desktop is the Game Maker icon with the little hammer, the little gray hammer, and the red circle. Now, let's just assume I clicked on that already. This is Game Maker, ladies and gents. So, basically, if you're going to start making your game, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to make a simple game where basically you just have an icon that moves around on a screen and accomplishes a few simple things to challenging effect. Now, I have to say that we didn't originally create the game we're about to show you. This is a tutorial that was originally designed by B1 Navy Guy, who is a guy on YouTube who made the videos that this tutorial is based on. What we're doing is we're summarizing his work and also adding on a few of our own little charms. So, thank you B1 Navy Guy. Now, what I'm about to show you is content that was created, although by B1 Navy Guy's design, by Game King, our man behind the camera, our man with the plan. I am immortal, by the way, if I didn't say so. Now, the first thing you need to know is that a game is broken up into a lot of different components. So what we have right here, if you'll look at my little handy screen thing right here, is we have that there are a bunch of different folders that basically make up the main components of your game. There are sprites, sounds, backgrounds, objects, and rooms. Now, in this, we are not going to be going over sounds, because you don't need sound to have a good game. And honestly, just go read more, and it'll be easy. There's a very helpful community, and there are a lot of good advanced tutorials where you can learn that stuff. Let's show you sprites first. Now, what we have right here is a sprite that we've already created. I'm going to first start out by creating a new sprite to show you how that works. Now, there are a number of different ways you can do it. The easiest way is to go up here to the bar at the top of the screen and hit this little red Pac-Man guy, but he's not Pac-Man or we get sued. And this says create a sprite. So we hit that, right? Immediately, we have a little white space and it says Sprite 2 right there. Now, what you can do at this point is you can see right here width 32, height 32. Those are in pixels and they represent the size of your sprite. Now, a sprite and an object, as I'll get into later, are intrinsically related. You can think of a sprite as a representation. If an object is your bones and your muscles, then the sprite is your flesh or the clothes that you wear. It's basically the image that goes on top of the object. So, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to edit sprite. We're going to hit edit sprite down here. And what happens then is we are given, magically by the powers of GameMaker, an image to start out with, which is 32 by 32 pixels. Now what we're going to want to do is double click on this image and we are given a little image editor. If you've ever used MS Paint or another program like that, then you're probably familiar with a lot of the tools here. We have a few different tools here, some of which I'm not going to go over, but the basic ones that you probably want to know are draw on the image, spray paint the image, fill an area, which very simply just makes it whatever color you've selected, and there's a few shape tools you can use which are very helpful for creating different sorts of, shapes. So basically what you want to do is you go about just basically creating whatever image you want. Now it depends on what you're making. If this is, for instance, a Mario game and you're making Mario, then you would draw the shape of Mario right here, and then you would use all these lovely colors to make him whatever color you want. I think I've made a little egg pod or something. I'm not sure what it is, but let's just say that egg pod is our hero. Now, at this point, you can either close, saving your changes. Now, the bad thing about doing that is that you're not actually saving the image file on your computer other than within GameMaker, which is fine to start out with, but if, say, you wanted to use the same image in other parts of your game or other games entirely, you might want to go to File, Save As, and then save it as a bitmap somewhere on your computer. We won't go into that, but that's something available to you. Now let's say I click OK here. Click OK to save changes, and now we have a sprite right here. What we can do with this, first thing you'll notice is that there's a little checkbox that says transparent next to it. It says right here under it that this indicates whether the sprite has a transparent background. So all this green around it, because it's the default color for the program, is magically taken away and replaced with transparency at my discretion. So for instance, I'm going to uncheck transparent and click OK. If you look right here in our list of sprites, you can see that the green is around this sprite. Basically, if he's moving around on the screen, that box is going to follow him around, which is not attractive. So what we're going to do is we're going to click transparent. And then if you'll see, there's just white behind him, which means that whatever background he's over, that background will show up around him, which is much more preferable. Okay, so now you have a sprite. What next? Second thing we're going to show you is objects, which goes hand in hand with sprites, really. We have one object right now. You'll notice that the image for our sprite and the image for our object are the same. That's because the sprite is on top of the object. It is a part of the object. I'll make a new object and I'll explain to you how. Now up here by this Pac-Man, you will notice that there's a little blue ball right here and it says create an object. I guess the blue ball is an object. So we're going to hit the little blue ball. Now this is actually a very powerful part of the game. There's a lot of different things you can do in the object properties screen to create a number of effects, which we'll go over later. Right now, you'll see right here that there's a space for a sprite. So what we do is we have a little drop-down list right here, which if you look at, there's a little mini arrow right there and a little page. So we click that, and then we have a list of any sprites we've created. I'm going to click my little egg pod, even though it's ugly. And now there's its name right there, Sprite 2. And then we have two little checkboxes here, visible and solid. Now you might be thinking, why on earth wouldn't I want my object to be visible? Now in this tutorial we're not necessarily going to show you an object that isn't visible, but suffice it to say that objects can be used for less obvious reasons, such as changing the way the game functions. For now, we're just going to go with clicking visible, which means you see it, which makes sense. There's another checkbox here that's called solid. This object won't be solid. We will later get into objects that are solid. Okay, so you have events. Now that I've shown you how to create an object, I'm going to go into our pre-made object to go over events with you.